but Baahubali actually gives us the confidence to produce us. If you invest in money in the visual effects film, they get back the money. People didn't notice actually, which is AI generated, and all the creators, like directors and filmmakers, every other departments, they are able to express their idea using the concept art.
Whether you are making a cinema or you are running an insurance firm or manufacturing.
Every boardroom probably must be having the same conversation that invest in AI, but we don't see the results.
Yeah, the problem is that most of the organization, because of the so much hype going on around AI, the discussion is more like let's do AI. It's not that why we are doing AI. I think if the organization really want to see the results, the question should be that why we want to use AI and what is the objective we want to achieve. So you give a prompt, AI give the response, then you use your experience, your thinking to cross-challenge it, that whether this is right, can it be done in this way, are you following the best practices? And so it always you go with an approach that it might be wrong, and once you always keep reminding that it might be wrong, you will keep on prompting, you will use the real prompt engineering to get the best output of it.
You're an academy member, so any changes you've seen across the years?
A lot of things are going to happen. What I'm predicting, maybe in because recently we had RRR got Academy Award, Oscar.
This is TOI AIQ Talks. $2,800 visual effects shots, 18 studios, a budget that Hollywood would find modest. That's the league of Baahubali and RRR. And Srinivas Mohan made it look effortless. Meanwhile, in boardrooms across India, organizations are spending crores on AI and shipping almost nothing. Today, the man behind these shots and one of India's sharpest voices on enterprise AI are in the same room. And it turns out they're solving the exact same problem. This is TOI AIQ Talks. I am Sonia Singh and you're watching TOI AIQ Talks. Two guests today, two completely different worlds, and one conversation I think will surprise you. First, 5 national awards for visual effects. The creative mind behind RRR, Baahubali 2.0 and Robot. Srinivas Mohan, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us about yourself.
So I started in 1997. I started as a computer programmer, and then I got to know that this visual effects, especially that time, slowly all the computers are coming into the field where required visual effects. So then I started learning that, and then from that time it's like gradually, no looking back. I'm helping all the creative directors.
Excellent. We'll talk about the journey and someone I go to when I genuinely want to know about AI, not the hype, but the reality. Founder and CEO of Adrosonic, our knowledge partner today. Mayank, welcome to you.
Thank you.
Tell us about your company.
Yeah, so I'm Mayank, as I say, CEO and founder Adrosonic, and we use technology, data, and AI to help our customers to solve real business problems. And so that they can achieve operational efficiency and create a better experience for their customers. I founded it with Sonal in 2013, and with a simple belief that technology should be made accessible to everyone, irrespective of whether they are large enterprises or a small or medium enterprises, or whether they are technology experts. And today we are serving customers across UK, US, Latin America, helping them to innovate, transform, and preparing them for an AI-ready future.
Here's a thread I want to pull in this discussion. AI is changing how serious work gets done in the boardroom as well as in theaters. So we have these two guests here. Let's see how close these two worlds really are. And Srinivas, let's start with you. Last 25 years, you started in 1997.
Yep.
2026 now. So how would you explain the modifications, the innovations in VFX? I remember you telling us that you used to make the effects frame by hand.
Yeah. So in 25 years back, actually, if you see in the overall world, it's all started with very optical effects. Like there is no computers that time. So very, I can say it's like a very minimal they started. Then when computers came in, especially in India, uh, whoever doing that optical, like a manual effects, frame by frame, which they do on the negative. They draw frame on frame by frame. An artist will sit on draw that.
A tedious job.
Yeah, it's very
Yet
tedious job.
creative.
Yeah, but that is on the, they take a one small frame and then they draw the mat. So that's how they used to do. So then after that, when computers introduced, the main problem in India, especially what happened, the people who, artists who are doing the optical effects, they are not able to transfer into the digital world. So there is totally cut off. So who are doing the optical visual effects, optical based. So uh, when we came in 1997, there are computers. They are able to do some work, but we don't have that time. We don't have any film experience. How to handle the film people. Uh, so what happened that there is a huge gap. So then we started producing some content with the whatever knowledge we have. But when we enter into the film industry with the computer software knowledge, so they are not able to, actually there is a lot of gap and it didn't work out well. So in such a way, in the directors,
example in your mind,
yeah,
maybe while making any of these award-winning films?
yeah, so that award-winning films are later. Actually, the initial my initial career that time 1997. So when we go to the, they will call for visual effects people, like a visual effects supervisor. There is no actual visual effects supervisor role at all that time.
Oh.
It's like they will call, okay, we have one. That is the days. Those are the days people think it's like a computer can do anything. Now we are talking about AI.
Yeah.
Those days, computer era. So computer think, oh, you press button, things will come. So that's how they started. So they used to think that all the directors and producers and think, okay, they call like, okay, I need some. They see one film from the Hollywood, and they want a similar thing here. So they ask us, okay, can you do that? Yes, we can do, but it requires a lot of preparation, a lot of time and all that, but they won't give that. So obviously we don't have much knowledge on the film side. So overall what happened, when we started producing, they are not liking, and to understand the world, it took almost like 6-7 years for us to, VFX people, to understand them and they understand here. So that time we faced a lot of issues, like they'll call us and they'll think, okay, they want one shot, but they'll always take one backup because they think it won't come, output won't be coming. And they always use for the song sequences, not the actual main film. Main scene, they won't be using the visual effects because they don't have confidence. So then that's how slowly then we started giving them confidence that we can produce, we can give the emotion through the computer graphics, VFX. That is how we started. So that's the first film I remember.
Behavior of averse to change.
Exactly. Yeah, the main problem what we have here is like the whoever working in the optical era, they couldn't transfer into that. So that is the same problem happening even now. The whoever has the present computer era, they are not able to transfer into the AI. So this transition took us like almost 6-7 years. Then I started had a confidence, and then people are using our visual effects into the main scenes. There is a one film first I remember that there is a one Tamil film called Ramana. That is where we have one important scene where it's a burning scene. One, so that's where we started as emotional. And earlier we have in Telugu a lot of films like Ammoru. It's like a little earlier, but they took abroad team help. They came here and they did the work for it. So then, especially that become very expensive and very people didn't go that. So for us, Indian VFX team to grow up, so we started first film like Robo is one of the initial time, especially in South India. we have an opportunity to prove ourselves as a visual effects. And then parallelly in Bollywood, they have this Krish, and then Aryavan, and then here we have Magadira, and then after that, Yiga. So then I had an opportunity to do work for the Baahubali. So parallelly we are doing all the work, but Baahubali actually give us the confidence to producers. If you invest in money in the visual effects film, they get back the money. So that is what the entire Indian visual effects industry has changed.
It kind of changed the cinema experience also absolutely for India.
So that is one of the biggest transformation that Baahubali has given. Even though we are doing some work in the previously, but this particular film gave producers confidence that okay, they can get back money.
So talking about the transformation from say hands to computers now to AI. So how do you see the growing influence of AI now in VFX CGI?
Yeah, rather than CGI VFX, I'll talk about what is AI in my perspective. So when we see humans, certain things we cannot do repetitive jobs. So that's we always try to want some machine to do that. So if you go into the like a mechanical era, that olden few centuries back, it's like we found something, some mechanism where it will do repeated. So that's where we created some kind of a logic. If you put that lever, because we need control. If you put that lever, it goes that way. If you put this lever, so we started taking control, and we created one machine where it exactly produced like whatever way we want. How many times you do, almost 90% it will come as a perfect. So then that mechanism, it's very clear, black and white. If you do this, it will come 100% clear. So that later it's like instead of a mechanical era, it electrical. So we have electricity, then we started using electrical walls to operate that logic. And then later it came to the transistors that like a small ICs in. So then it came to the computer world. Computer, we have a software. So that software, all the logics we are using software, but from mechanical era to this era, it's all clear, it's a logic. 0 and 1, it's a logical system. So we know exactly what, and everything is in our control. But AI is totally different. So AI is like just like a human. It's a predictability. So it actually, there is no 0, 1. It's always between 0 and 1. It's like there is no black and white. It's like a gray area. So whatever the models, now you got a lot of models, and it will give the output. Even if you go to ChatGPT or anything, bottom they clearly say whatever it's producing may not be correct, because it is a gray area. It takes the gray area as a output. So now the problem, what happened, we have in the computer, previously whatever it says, we believe that. Like if you say calculator, it's believe that it's perfect. We are so used to that dependency and so accuracy. Now we have the same computer, but in a different program, it's saying may not be correct. So we don't know what to believe. Now we are in that stage where what need to be believed. So like we have two systems. One is a logical system. The other one is like a totally predictable system, which is like a human. So my perspective, AI is actually another human. If you think as AI as a human, then it's like a companion. So you are hiring one person. Then you know when you are hiring, what is the capability of that. So when you train the model, when you select the model, this model has this much capability. So then you know you use it for.
So this gets my next question, which says that how do you envisage a future unfolding now with AI in cinemas?
Yes. Before, in the cinema, but this overall logical, if you think of that, the models which we are training, AI means at present, we need to train one model, which that is a knowledge we get from everybody's, and we steal all the people knowledge and we train that. And one big company from the world, because that's very expensive. So they train all the models, all the data, and keep that model with them. And it's a generalized model. And now they will provide it to you. For us, we have a very, human has a very nice tendency, like if one person who is better than you, you try to attract. That's so this AI model, obviously it is trained in some more knowledge, and we start attracting, and we think that is a superior, and we start using them, even we don't know whether it's required or not. Even though we require very small portion, we try to use that, and it's like a very attractive way we use them. So that is what it's actually, entire present systems are like that. So what we really required is we need a specialized system where you really require, not the big model, specialized model only for that small portion of the thing what you require. So that kind of a system, I think, slowly evolve. So that is where it's like your companion. So again, overall, if you see into our visual effects industry, we have started using AI. So when you asked about the AI, so in 2 years back, I think there is one film I did, which is called Indian 2, where three artists, they passed away in pandemic. So obviously we have shot that 70% of them using them in the film. So the remaining 30% we have to recreate. So that's where that AI got the advantage. I took advantage of them, and people didn't notice actually, which is AI generated. And so what we did is we trained the existing material which is there in the film, and then finally when we used one other artist to perform, and we replaced the all the generated CG, AI generated part. We replaced his face. It worked out well. And now, actually, in fact, we started using AI in in the industry, film industry, but not really like a extensive final outputs. So where we are using is we are using rotoscoping, and then for the relighting part, and then some of the places where depth of field, if you want to change, and matte paintings, and mainly the most of the advantage at present what we are having the AI is that all the creators, like directors and filmmakers, every other departments, they are able to express their idea using the concept art. So they are actually giving the prompt, whatever they want to say. So in the pre-production stage, before not the final output, but in the pre-production stage, a lot of help AI is getting. But again, that is a prompt only. So the entire what type of prompt you need to give, that has to come from the creator. So I've seen that a lot of people similar prompts even for non-filmmakers, they are actually from the household. They have a lot of creativity, and they started using AI in very extensively. Giving the prompts and getting the images, but they are all good for just for they're getting the more views and everything. One thing it become very evident. AI, when you say AI, if they're using an AI product in the final output, it's cheap. There is no value for it. That is what we need to really, really think of it. Of course, we should use that AI as a companion in some small portions, but not as a final product. When I say that, yeah, sorry.
So last, before I bring Mayank in, any AI experiment that you've done that you're very excited about, and one thing that you would never ever want to hand it over to AI to work on, or you feel that this will not work with AI?
Yeah, and the first thing won't work is that AI is the another person. So the creativity what you have, that person cannot, definitely won't have. So that is like a creative part exclusive for that person. And the one thing which we need to remember is anything, whatever you are doing one job, if other person is doing the same job, so then if they produce similar output of what you are doing, that means that job will go off.
Yeah.
That will be AI will be taking over. That is what you need to judge always, what actually I am doing, whether that other person also doing the same. That means you have to shift. That is a one thing. And another thing is every person has their own uniqueness. Obviously, there will be definitely because of their upbringing and the combination of a lot of knowledge that you need to protect. That is where you don't want to expose that to because that is only always I've seen that that uniqueness will be there. Only one uniqueness will be there that you can't expose to outside. And because if you start exposing, obviously a training, if they picked up, then you don't require. So this is the one of the very important thing. And the other one, the excited about, like what AI which I am working on. So basically, we have just imagine one person who is full knowledgeable person with you. So what you will do? So that is what exactly I remember. I thought of doing that, which is my childhood dream, which I want to create some kind of a human brain with the digital human brain. So that is what now I had a advantage of, like I have a cloud or even ChatGPT. So all these programs, I don't need to really do programming, even though I'm a programmer, but I don't need to do. So I just need to design. So the design which I'm working, so which I did that. So the main, what is the difference between the existing models and this model which I'm working on? So this is like so far actually, earlier what I told, all the other models, which is trained and it cannot train back. It's need to be trained again in the bigger level. It's not real time. But what my model, what I'm doing, that what I designed that program is, it actually train real time data. It takes the real time data. It's just like a human. It takes the real time data. It updates that. There is no back propagation like how the other models have. So this almost like since 2 years back, I'm working on it, and I prepared one good mechanism and the program for it, and I'm waiting for I applied for patent, so that is going to come.
Mayank, if we take what Srinivas just said here and if we remove the glamour of cinema, do you actually see the issues happening across all boardrooms right now, like scaling complex work, doing it fast, doing it on constrained budgets? Where is the issue?
No, whether you are in making a cinema or you are running an insurance firm or manufacturing, the problem is same everywhere. Everyone has a budget constraint. People want to do more, and that's where actually AI can help. But only if we see it. It's not just a tool. We need to, the organization need to find the area or the problem area where it can actually improve your efficiency. Like it is not just that it can fit in everywhere. So the more you can do more because it can process a lot of information. So for example, if the decision making process in your organization is slowing you down, you can make it faster by identifying, okay, where actually it stops, how much information we are analyzing. Now you can analyze all the information on a click of a button. So there are a lot of areas you need to understand your whole organization workflow from end to end, how it works, and then look at that. What are the areas you want to automate or improvise or make it efficient with the help of AI? So then you can definitely achieve the success.
I get it, but every boardroom probably must be having the same conversation that invest in AI, invest in AI, but we don't see the results.
Yeah, the problem is that most of the organization, because of the so much hype going on around AI, the discussion is more like let's do AI. It's not that why we are doing AI. I think if the organization really want to see the results, the question should be that why we want to use AI and what is the objective we want to achieve. So it should not start with let's write an AI strategy for the organization. It should start with the question that okay, with these are the problem. Let's say my invoice processing is very cumbersome. It takes a lot of it is not very efficient, or my customer onboarding is not very efficient. So these are the areas where there is a repeatable task. It takes a lot of manpower. It takes a lot of time to process, and we want to use a tool, which is AI, which is available, and an amazing technology to bring efficiency. Then the success will be there. But the problem is that most of the organization are feeling there is a fear of missing out in the boardroom, and you just want to go ahead, and everyone wants to win this race. So there is a race. You all are in race, whether you want to be part of that race or you don't want to be part of the race. The whole hype has forced you to be in that race, and that's why you just want to do AI. And when you want to do something without actually knowing why you are doing it, it's hard to imagine that you will get that result. So result will be there if you first define the.
If you want to make it clear to the audience, maybe someone in the audience is actually having an organization, having an issue, thinking that they're behind on AI. They've probably sat through demos, seen the pitches, heard them, but still they're not convinced. So what is the first step they should actually take towards AI?
If I say, give a very practical and realistic advice, my advice will be that you first look at your end-to-end flow or journey of your organization, and just identify one problem, just one problem which is you are facing, say, every week, or daily. If not daily, at least a weekly problem, and then start from there. You start small. You will see the result of implementing AI. So for example, if you say that okay, my invoice processing is too manual, I want to implement it, say automate the whole process, or my there are multiple data entry or multiple systems we are using, so let's automate this process. You start from one problem. Don't think, don't go that big bang approach. Once you see that working, there will be a belief. Then similarly you can start doing more incrementally, and that will give you momentum. And once you start automating more and more, then there will be an impact. So that's again my very practical advice will be that let's start small and use it incrementally, and use it in the area where it is more impactful and more efficient for your business, and where you can measure the actual results.
So, Srinivas, does it match your experience also, and probably the same learning curve in cinema also?
So in AI, especially in VFX industry, using AI in the commercial part is a still biggest issue, because the whatever we at present the AI is which can produce, it's not there is no clarity on it. It produces, sometimes it's good, sometimes it cannot. So we don't know how much it does good. So if you take an example like rotoscoping, so normally when we do business, so we take one work and we put man hours. This will take this many man hours, and this will cost this much. So based on that, we'll do the bidding. Like a VFX studios, they do the bidding. But when we try to, some of the tasks actually AI is doing, but the problem is that sometimes it do good, sometimes it won't. So when we, based on that, it's very tough for us to budget, timing and budget. So that is one of the issue. That's why we are not able to incorporate AI into the actual business pipeline. It's not standard yet.
And issues is what we are looking forward to now, because this is the moment that I have also been looking forward to. It is called the Adrosonic Spotlight. Here, we'll talk about a problem, a real problem, a concrete problem that Srinivas is going to hand over to Mayank. And Mayank, you're going to give us an AI fix on it.
Okay.
So let's start.
Okay. So I'll give you real interesting problem. Okay. So just imagine in my VFX film, so I have thousands of shots. It's almost like film is going to release soon. And shots have come, and those shots for review. Like from the 18 studios, they delivered the shots, and for our job is like to give the creative input to them. So each shot has like a different format and different versioning number. If you see my team, they will take like thousands of shots if you want to correct them and put them in order and everything, make it ready to creative review. It takes a lot of time. I don't think so we can able to handle that. Just give me from your perspective how you can able to fix the it in AI.
Okay.
So it's like a pile load of work, and now AI needs to fix it.
Yeah. So when you look at this, problem, the way I like I will look at this problem is more like a human productivity problem. So your team is a team of creators, and actually, when you elaborated your problem to me, they are spending most of their time in collecting information, sorting it out, prioritizing, or even finding out where is the defect which has been broken. So all this is not creativity. The creativity has not even started, and they are already over exhausted. So what technology or what AI can help here is that you can have an AI intake layer and an orchestration layer, and you add all these your input to that with an expected set of output what you are expecting, and within few seconds it can give you the right uh, expected, it can match against the expected output. It can also tell you what are the areas you need to focus if there is any file which is broken, or there is any defects, or what is so you immediately your team will know where to focus rather than going by every record bit by bit. So but this is automation, right? It gives you a result and they know where to focus. The real game changer, or I will say that the real value of AI is that it will now also look at your deadline, and it will analyze against the deadline, okay, what are the areas where you should focus first. So it can also tell your team that these are the top 5 things, in line to the sequence of which you need to produce that output. You first focus just these 2 3, and then focus on the next 5 6 7. So it is not only done the administrative work of sorting it out, telling you where to focus, but it has also prioritized the work for you. So now your workforce is doing the creative part for which they were hired. They are not spending the time into the administrative part. That's where I see the real game change of this AI is that it's going to take away all the overhead and non-productive task of any human being, and the humans can will mainly focus on the part that is their actual job. So a creator actual job is creativity, not the sorting of the file or looking at, or defining the sequence or prioritizing it. So that all things you are augmenting to AI, and you are focusing on what you should be doing. So this can be done through building an AI intake layer along with the orchestration layer and creating that model. So that's how I will solve it.
So the shift that you're asking everyone to make is not to find out which tool to buy. Instead, you should focus on where is my workforce lacking.
Exactly. Like, we need to look at it, or business need to look AI just as a tool in the kitty. And it has always evolved like that. Even when what you were saying, when computer came, it was just like a new way, or when cloud computing came, or let's take, when MS Office was there, we moved to automating the things using macros in Excel, then robotic automation came. It all was to bring more efficiency. AI is also like just like one tool in the kit. So the way we should look at it is to what problem and how we can bring more efficiency into this. Not like, oh, I want this is a nice toy or nice tool, and it's so cool that I want to use it. Because there should be a commercial sense out of it. At the end, every business is running, they want to have profitability. So how much investment you are making into these AI initiatives, whether you will be getting your ROI or not, whether it's actually worth going with an AI automation, or it can be semi-automated, or you automate a part of it, and then you use both mix of human as well as AI, that these kind of judgment is required, not straight away jumping into the AI. And this all will settle once this hype comes and people will start looking at the really how to use AI to get the maximum benefit out of it.
And when you say automation, the immediate question or the burning question that comes to my mind is jobs. That is something which scares everyone now. I'll ask you, did your artist lose job after AI came into being, or what changed?
Yeah, of course. We are in creative field. Uh, Whenever I go to artists, they always ask for, no, AI has come. Is that AI is taking off my job? Of course not. Because as long as you're doing the creative job, definitely that is uniqueness. One thing what we need to be very careful, if other people, like other training the model creation, if they start exactly trying whatever you are doing, your output, if they started doing, taking your output and training that, and they can able to produce your whatever you are doing, that is where you need to be careful. So, and then another thing, you always cross check one time, whatever you are producing, whatever you are creating, if another artist also doing the similar thing, if it's the same, that means it's a repetitive job. You are not actually creation. You are also copying something, because obviously creation is it's a very thin line where it's uh, because you are also getting some inspiration from others and you are creating. It's like a mixing of some other things. So same thing AI also is doing. So you need to be careful that always judge whether what you are doing is like a real real creation, not just copying pasting. So as long as if you are that level, then you don't need to worry. Your jobs are safe. But if you are not, if you are doing the like a lazy, and if you start doing the repeated jobs, sometimes you don't know, but you always cross check. That is a
Mayank, if talking about jobs, like if we scale that up, not a VFX studio, maybe a place where with a workforce of thousands across multiple functions, what is your honest take?
Look, honestly, if I tell you, some jobs will go, right? But there will be new opportunities as well. It just like if I go back to the old analogy of being when the computer came, all the typewriters job, they thought that all the typewriters writers will lose their job, but they found a new way of doing it. So it's more going to bring the shift in the way people are working, especially in the administrative side of it, where it is very repetitive and non-value adding job. That's where I see that there will be impact. But the analysis part of it, how you are interpreting the information, how you are using AI to get the maximum out of it, there will be new jobs that will emerge. So overall, my take will be that humans, as a humans, we are more intelligent. We need to adapt it and evolve with that. So if I say that people will not lose their job if they adapt to AI, but definitely if I adapt to AI and if you don't adapt to AI, then you will lose your job. So
Great.
it will be with those who adapt and evolve. They will not lose their job. In fact, they will get more opportunities.
Now, about making mistakes. Humans make mistakes. AI can also make mistake. Stakes are diverging here. If a bad shot is shot maybe in a AI film or something, you can reshoot it. But when it comes to companies, any bad decision by AI and then you lose a client, where does this fix now?
Uh, you know, I really like one thing that Srinivas initially said, that when a new tool comes, or when you find someone who is more intelligent or who has more knowledge, you get attracted towards it. And the same is happening with the AI as a tool. And at the same time, we also know that the answer that AI is giving is based on the data it is having. And the whole set of data that it having, which is processing and giving you a gray answer, right? And then asking you to validate yourself. So the biggest mistake an organization will do is to trust that data.
exactly.
If you are trusting what AI is giving you, then that is not AI is for. It's not more intelligent than you. So it should be used as a very good, you know, uh, administrator or your companion who can quickly analyze the data and give you more all different options, but the accountability and the judgment aspect needs to remain with the human. So as far as that remains, you will not do mistake, you will take better decisions with the help of AI. But if you outsource it completely, then there is a risk. And there will be a risk. You will definitely, see the problems out of it.
And
so the message is that as a human, we need to outsource the repetitive work or administrative work, not our thinking.
talking about outsourcing only, where is one thing where AI is not delivering yet? Maybe the difference between what we were projecting it and the reality.
Yeah, a lot of time, especially in creative field, whatever outside people think it's like AI can create beautiful movies. Like if you go normal person who has a like who is doing a software, but he has a nice thoughts like a creative thoughts. So he can actually now go to the sites where he can create a model. Sorry, he can create a movie file based on his imagination. But that doesn't mean to say like it is actually producing big like a final film quality. So that is where the lot of uh, mistake and lot of judgment happen. But in our real world, especially as a practical, we have not, especially in film field, we have not reached to that level where we can use that as a final pixel. Still, we are using that into the pre-production level, but not as a final pixel.
Are there any places where AI is not delivering yet in boardrooms and companies?
It's the people aspect. So I always say when I, in Adrosonic as well to my everyone that technology is easy, people is hard. So AI is good at, processing the information. But as a human, in what context we will take the decision, that will vary, right? So, for example, if I have to take a decision on in terms of the capital allocation, I will give AI different scenarios, say that, I and different options of how should I allocate my capital, whether it should be invested to set up a new subsidiary or setting up a new, investing more in the sales function or strengthening my delivery capability. And it can give you different various permutation combination. But it cannot tell you that, what decision it should take, because it does not know as a human how I am thinking, how my workforce is, what is, in what context I am operating. So where it will not deliver is when you add the human context, because humans take decision, there are a lot of aspect behind it. It can be, your fear, your ambition, your organizational politics. These all aspects need to be considered when you are running any organization. In one word, if you want me to define, it's empathy. So AI can give you information, but it cannot give you empathy of understanding others' perspective. So if I have to take a decision for my organization, I need to take that decision in the context of understanding my people, my customers. And that AI can't do, because every organization has their own people, their own customers. So that empathy element AI can't solve. And that's where the success will be when you combine these. AI and empathy, if you combine this together, that's where the real success is.
So, all this while we've spoken about what AI has been doing and it can do. If we come to the human equation that you were talking right now, the empathy part, what does it actually do to us humans? Do you see in boardrooms, in companies, in organizations, what is a deeper impact? Is the human role shifting?
Uh, you know, and this is my personal prediction, and I'm quite hopeful that it will be. I think it's going to make us more responsible. We will evolve once this hype settles in. We know that it is the processing, it's the information that we are getting. We soon our brain will learn that, it's not that same old computer logic what Srinivas was talking about, where that if you have programmed it like that, it will give you this answer. That whole concept of 0 to 1, it's more grayish ones. The moment we will learn it, we know that we have to be responsible with the information, and we should be more, judging this information or analyzing this information. Like, how all if you see even the Indian IT industry, the way it has evolved, it has more evolved like from a BPO in India, especially from a business process outsourcing, where there were a set of instruction that were given and you have to follow a typical process. Even when we moved up the value chain, the whole consulting and the process design and the system design was done abroad, and it was sent to India to just to execute it, right? But with the AI coming in, is that a threat to that job? Definitely yes. Because the execution part, AI can do it if you give the right instruction. So what will remain is that how you are analyzing the information, how you are designing the system, how you are solving the problem. So we human will then soon understand that there is no value in just executing. So we will then learn that, oh, this tool is giving me so much context, so much knowledge, how I can analyze it and become more responsible, how I will become more accountable for my decision. Because tomorrow it's me who is taking the decision based on the information that AI is giving. So in one line, if you ask me, it's going to make humans more responsible.
All right. And what about in your field, like what Mayank has explained? Maybe something which was taking weeks for you to develop, now it is being done in seconds. Now, what does the artist actually become now in your world?
Yeah, that's a very interesting part. What we have so far, we are doing a lot of multiple tasks, which is not required by creators. Like we have to do a lot of repetitive jobs. So all those repetitive jobs will go, and we concentrate more into the creation. So that is what actually we are thinking of. Like AI will help us to reduce all the repetitive jobs, so we can actually concentrating on the creation. So that's how even in our regular life what we are doing. So in one of the discussion, it came like, okay, now everything is like all the whatever the humans are doing. It's like AI is taken care, like some robots or something will do what humans will do. So that's when this discussion happen. Actually, humans will enjoy their life. They will sit, they will do farming, and they will do whatever. That's what the and one another thing is like what he has mentioned, the evolution. We always try to come up with uh, like whatever its data is there, and then we analyze and we go to the next level, and then that is what the we try to find out. And another part is like any create what is a creation actually. Creation is something which is something new. New is always anytime something is getting old, we always need to create something new.
So that creation could be that maybe now when we watch content, there are categories. What will happen next?
Yeah, that's a interesting thing when you think about like example, if you go to Netflix. So Netflix, when you go, you always generally go as a like
You
a
can choose a genre.
genre or category or something. So what will happen in the future soon? It's like a you think of like a okay, I want to see something fresh which I have in mind. So imagine like there is a space. So from the space, one alien is coming here and playing with the kid. So you start dictating that, and it slowly starts forming that characters, and it will create a one kind of a storyline, and very with minimal thing. So you start dictating, and it's like a next chapter. I want to have some kind of a action sequence here, and then it will create some ideas, and you speak to that, and so finally it will have a one skeleton overall. Then you say, okay, I want to create a movie based on that. It will maybe 10-15 minutes. It will generate entire one movie for you. So you start enjoying that. It's like you are creating your own movie and you'll watch.
So this
That is
scares me also, that till now whatever you think about any product and then you start seeing the ads. I mean, how did my phone come to know that I was thinking about this particular thing? And though, I mean, of course, it's the algorithms. And now a movie can be made in whatever way you want to watch it. God, that's the future. Mayank, coming back to this, there's a version of this that concerns me, that if AI is taking decisions about customers, about hiring, about credit, then is there a risk that humans may start questioning their own judgment?
No,
That-
I don't think that
Okay.
any organization should ever think about hiring or outsourcing decisions to AI. AI is just to give you the context of information and the summary of information. It's more like it's up to human who should control the decision. And the higher the complexity of the decision for any organization, the higher should be the human involvement. That's how I see it. So, for example, you said hiring decision. You can't leave a because it will work on certain guidelines that you will give to the AI. But when I and you are sitting, and having a face-to-face conversation, there are a lot of aspects that you will understand. When you're making a hire based on your own experience and your own journey that you have gone through of how you are judging the people. So at the end you will make the right choice. But yes, say I'm a salesperson. Let me give you this context. Okay, and I have to go and meet different customers. In old days, I used to collate all those information with me, when I'm going to a customer, what was my previous meeting, even when the CRM system came, I used to open the CRM system, look at that, okay, what was discussed in last meeting, what was my proposal. Now, when I'm going for a meeting, my AI is summarizing all that information to me. And my AI is also giving me that, certain recommendation. But when I'm sitting with my prospect or my customer, it's me who is taking the decision in terms of what I am going to say or what I am going to pitch. So we should never outsource the decision part to AI. We should just use it as an information that it is summarizing. And that is what I am also encouraging inside Adrosonic as well, is encouraging everyone to challenge AI. So you give a prompt, AI give the response, then you use your experience, your thinking to cross challenge it, that whether this is right, can it be done in this way, are you following the best practices. And so it always, you go with an approach that it might be wrong. And once you always keep reminding that it might be wrong, you will keep on prompting, you will use the real prompt engineering to get the best output of it. So your analysis, your decision making ability has to remain with the human.
Last question then, will AI replace humans? Or are we building AI that will make humans sharper?
I will say that AI's real value is not there. Okay. I will say that AI's real value is not there to make technology smarter. Okay. We are, this is a technology, and this technology is not there to make tech smart. We need to make people more smart. So I see that the real value of AI will come in any organization when people will get more smarter because they are outsourcing all those administrative and repetitive work to a technology. So the real purpose is not to make the technology smart, but the real purpose is to make people smart. And that's where the real value of AI will be.
All right. And you want to add something to this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely AI will make humans smarter. And that is it will support. As long as if you think AI is a companion, it will help you.
You're an academy member.
Yeah.
So any changes you've seen across the years?
Yeah, now I'm lot of things are going to happen. What I'm predicting, maybe in because recently we had RRR got Academy Award, Oscar. So I'm seeing in this AI process now. I think in future, so we'll see one award for in AI category, like maybe AI artist, AI actor, or AI film, or something. I think it will be there. So, and one another thing which I want to point out here regarding the how India progressed uh, from since 30 years back and now how it is going towards AI. So my side, I have one analyzation. It's basically when we saw that 30 years back, 40 years back, so we had opportunity to develop or uh, created jobs for the software industry. So government has taken very good initiative to institutes and boost up a lot of industry to create a job, create a software engineer. But the one thing what I we realized is like, so they didn't concentrate on the content creators, like a content creators, like a IP side. So they started giving more priority to the like a outsource, like a labor-oriented jobs. So now at present, if you see in software industry, so most of the software industry, what we have in the software creators, they are all like very, they are not able to actually create anything like IP. So one thing which I saw now, which is like a just happening, because now they understand, India understand that software is not working out well, like it's going to, like AI is taking over. So they take an initiative of boosting the creative industry. That is a AVGC. So it's like a that industry, AVGC industry, which is just started like a, I think 3-4 years back. Government has even given some funds to establish this industry, and they even started one IIT, Creative IIT, where it's actually started producing the like a education. So again, my advice in this part, so we don't want to go back to the same mistake what we did for the software industry. So we need to do parallelly, along with the education, we need to give more priority to the content creator, like a IP production team. That is one of the things
I
which
just
we need
want to add to what Srinivas said, that one of the learning that we can also take from what happened, because we clearly missed that opportunity.
Yep.
when there was a boom of outsourcing.
Yep.
We trained our engineers to execute because there were so many opportunities. What we could have done at that time is also develop that consulting capability or solution designing capability, and which we are catching up now. But at that time, it was the more focus was to produce engineers, and everyone were rushing towards going into the software industry and working for MNCs and all. And considering the economic situation at that time, it might
That's
be
good.
it might
It
be
worked.
yeah, it evolved. But I think we could have done that much early, maybe in early 2000s. But there is a greater part of it, is that how we are optimizing or improving our education system as well.
Exactly.
So for example, if you see, we are saying that IITs are producing the best brains of the country, and it's the world's toughest exams to crack. But what we are celebrating is the getting an entry to the IITs.
Correct.
Right? But it actually, the journey starts when you get qualified to enter into the Indian Institute of Technology. Whereas the mindset is that once you qualify for IIT, you have won
Celebrating,
everything. So what happens in those 4 years, and when you come out of it, what is the purpose? Why you have entered to that tech institutes? What value you want to add once you are out of that technical institute? That mindset is needed. Even in the creative aspect of it, we need to encourage that kind of mindset. Then only it will help.
So the conclusion is that the future is not about doing less with machines, it's about doing more, but with more human judgment. And the more you work with AI, you can become more sharper if you do it correct.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Srinivas Mohan, and thank you so much, Mayank, for joining
Thank
us. And before we go, here is to all of you watching this. If your organization is turning AI from pilot to production, now is your chance to get into spotlight. Nominations are now open for the TOI AI Quotient Awards to be held this September. India's premier recognition platform for enterprises, startups, and leaders leading on AI. Head to the AIQ Awards microsite on Times of India and nominate yourself or your business today. We'll see you next time.